So what do you do if you lose your cool, or if you're like me, you've lost your cool again and you're not sure how that happened and what you can learn from it and what you can do better the next time? Then this is the right video for you. First of all, just to put things in perspective, this happens to the best of all of us, so don't beat yourself up about it. It is a process, and you will learn, and you'll get better at it. In fact, I came across a quote from a shaman named Don Javier, who really put things in perspective, and he said, "A spiritual warrior sees everything in life as a blessing." And I really thought it was beautiful. In other words, these are all opportunities for us to learn. It may not be easy, but it's all here to serve us, to help us be better versions of ourselves. By the way, I'm Gilda from the Nonprofit Path, which is a personal development coaching practice designed to help you have less overwhelm and more balance in your life. And a couple of practical tips and hacks I wanted to share is to start with journaling. And a couple things to keep in mind would be observe what triggered you. Literally jot down everything and anything, whether it's an eye roll, an attitude, something someone did maybe that seemingly appeared to be inconsiderate to you, what you can maybe do to avoid either that trigger, step around it, or how you can respond, not react. Big difference there. The reacting is sort of knee-jerk and it tends to be emotional, versus a response is much calmer, coming from a place of intention and how you wish to reply back in that particular moment. And, it takes practice, and that's okay. Another thing that we can do is to think about knowing ourselves and brainstorming ways to calm yourself down, whether it's deep breathing, doing a mini meditation, taking a walk, getting away from the situation, putting a pause on that conversation, saying, hey, I am too upset to talk about this right now. This is important and we will discuss it, but right now I can't do it. And I want to come back when I'm calmer. Going to talk to a friend, or just, getting away from the situation, whatever works for you. And now one thing, again, this is in the aftermath that you're journaling about this, but it is a question I think that we can work up to, that in the moment bring it back. But right now, we're talking about asking, what do you want out of the situation? Just better to do it after the fact. I think one day we'll all be able to, in that moment, say, hey, what do I actually want out of this situation? Another question I think a lot of people aren't as aware of is to really ask yourself, is there something else going on that's really bothering you? And I say this because sometimes we'll tend to nitpick one little tiny thing, and that's just sort of a reason to get in a fight with somebody. But what's really going on is you're needing that more of that attention from that one person, or something is missing. I have another video about relationships and love languages and things of that nature. I think top 10 tips to improve any relationship. Definitely take a look at that. It goes in a little bit more detail. Those might give you hints as to the reason why, underlying reason why you might be upset. So if your particular love language is that emotional bucket is empty, that could be one of those reasons. So that's a good thing to be aware of. And once you are aware of it, again, journal it out, figure out what were those triggers and why did that happen, and then when you're calmer, you can discuss it with that person. Another question you can ask is, what kind of relationship do I actually want from this person? And, again, usually these things involve people, so it's a good one to ask, because it's going to get you closer to that person in a good way, move you forward, or separate you and move you a few steps back. And one note there is that your emotions are a really good indicator to really powers that be, universe, whatever you want to call it, a vote for what you want more of in life. And so be really vigilant about what kinds of emotions you are experiencing. And again, we're human. It's going to happen. You're going to get mad and frustrated and irritated and sad and bent out of shape. That all happens. But I think the more aware we are of it, the better chance we have of nipping it in the bud before we get to that spot or that trigger setting us off, so to speak. And one bonus tip I wanted to share is just a real quick exercise, and it's Again, when you start to calm down, once you've already gotten all the stuff out on paper of what's bothering you, is to take a deep breath in and close your eyes, and then put your both hands over your heart and really think about 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for. And it could be really little things like the fresh water, clean water you have to drink, the sunshine, little things that, you have a bed to sleep in, you have warm socks, hot cocoa, coffee, whatever it is. And even if it's just a tiny little thing, but think about each one and really think about how grateful you are and try to feel into that gratitude. That's going to shift your energy and get you into a calmer state. And then go back to your journal, take a piece of paper in the journal or a separate one, divide a line down the middle, and then on the one side write down all the thoughts that were going through your mind when you were triggered. And leave space, but just put them on the one side. And then once you're calmer, go back and then on the opposite side write down the exact opposite thought. And again, not an easy thing to do, but I'd recommend taking one thought at a time and practicing that one thought, that replacement thought. When you are triggered, when you have the negative thought, okay, that's an indication that there it is. You want to use a word like freeze or stop or pause, and then shift and then choose it to replace it with another thought. If you need support in implementing, I'm a resource, I'd be happy to help. Good news is that as you start improving one area of your life, other areas will naturally improve, and it's a positive cascading effect. So that's the good news. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.